How does this Cello set up? We're going to look from a Portugal and a Spain perspective here, but from the Portugal perspective, given what they've done against Croatia, how are they feeling now having to play Spain, which is another level up in quality?
Well, listen, I think like any tournament, you have to play the best to win at the end of the day. So I think when you look at this game, I think, one, they got to get better defensively. Two, I think they have to make a decision about Ronaldo. Will he be able to maneuver between the back line of Spain? I think you've got to get a little bit more of the second half. That's where you have to start the game, because if you allow Spain to dictate, you're in trouble. So I look at Portugal and I say to myself, this is a good team. They didn't play well today, and you can put it to the side, but they still found a way to win. And those are the teams that are dangerous because they're getting better and better. And you're going to have a bad game in the World Cup. It's just part of life. You want it to be in the knockout, or if you do have a bad game, you still want to find a way to win it. Portugal found a way to win it today. So I would think that right there in itself gives them a lot of confidence going into Spain. I think when you play a team like Spain, they're both going to rise to the occasion. It's not like, oh, okay, it's so-and-so, and I don't want to make Dave. Well, it's this. Now it's Spain. So now you got to up your game or you're going home. So I think that this will be a battle and a half.
What do you think, Whitty? Will they be able to reproduce the kind of performance we saw in the second half against a team like Spain?
I think one of the areas they most have to improve is in midfield. I'm surprised that they have Vitinha and João Neves, and it seems like they get overrun sometimes. Vitinha, for as good as he is in the Champions League for Paris Saint-Germain, he has not delivered that for Portugal at this World Cup so far. And when you're coming up against a team that has the designs, as you mentioned, of dictating the game, I am really curious how Portugal would even approach a game against the ball. We saw them try it against Colombia. I thought they're pretty soundly beaten in that game, even though the game finished 0-0. Colombia just didn't finish their chances. So I am curious if they are going to play against the ball, which you kind of have to expect playing against Spain. They do this to everyone. It doesn't matter the opponent. They will control the ball. I am curious as to how they negotiate that. But yeah, I think from an attacking point of view, they definitely had good moments in the first half. I'm curious if he goes with Leao again. I thought he was the one player, at the very least, is capable of breaking a game. He's the one change of pace. There's so many great, tiny, technical players, but Leao is just different from Fernandes, from Neto, from Felix, from Bernardo Silva. He's a different kind of player. And so I think he's the one that can definitely offer something different. But when you look at these two teams, Porro and Cucurella were massively influential for Spain in their victory over Austria. And just as Mensch and Cancelo want to be a similar level of attacking as fullbacks, whichever team pins the other ones back to where you make them defend rather than attack, you're putting them in exactly the spot that you want to be in. So I think that's a huge part of the game, but it is fascinating because both these teams want to control the game, want to dominate, are nations that frankly have designs of winning this tournament, and they're meeting in the last 16.
The problem is nobody wants to make the mistake. You don't want to be that player. And that's why you see most first halves, they're feeling each other out. Almost every game, even the U.S. game, you can go to any game. England, the same thing. They both, it's that feeling out. You don't want to make a mistake. Then the second half comes along and you realize, okay, we got to open up a little bit. So I think Spain will come out and try to control and dictate. I think you'll get Ronaldo trying to get in behind. But I see one of those games, again, played in the midfield. And the second half, we're going to let the dogs loose a little bit, and we're going to open up and see if we can get a goal.
Seems crazy, really, given that Spain are the European champions and have such a great record and, former winners relatively recently of the World Cup. They won it in 2010. That they seem, to me, have gone kind of under the radar at this tournament so far, aren't they? Considering how good they are and how many great players they've got. And maybe that's been lost a little bit in the Messi, Haaland, and Mbappe battle and Kane scoring the goals. They've sort of quietly improved since that performance in the first game. And I think, speaking to a point that you made earlier, Cello, that's exactly what you need to do to win a World Cup. It's no good playing well in your group games. You need to slowly build towards the final. And I think, particularly when I watched them today, and, we always thought they were going to beat Austria fairly comfortably, but I saw a team that looks like it's heading in the right direction.
Yeah, and I think that is such a big step forward from the way that they drew that game against Cabo Verde in the opener. I think that's why people kind of forgot about them as favorites. Once you draw a game like that, you're going, well, I don't know. And I still don't think, today I thought they played well, but I think one of the things that France have done, they've had these 10, 50-minute periods where they blow you away. You're like, whoa, what is this? Even what Messi did for Argentina in the group stage, scoring those brilliant goals, like, okay, that seems unstoppable. That seems like, what am I going to do? Whereas Spain, I still don't think it's quite hit that level. And we'll see in this next game against Portugal, once they play a real high level of opposition, are they capable of blowing teams away? I don't think Yamal played well today, despite the fact that, for reasons passing understanding, he was named man of the match. But I think in the overall, there are some pieces that work well today. Like I mentioned, the fullbacks I thought played well. They did well to get the ball out wide through Pedro. And I thought even Baena had a decent game as well for Spain. But I just think there is something that hasn't quite exploded. It has been good, but it's not quite been that level of, wow, I'm overwhelmed by what I've seen from Spain.
It's the finishing. Listen, Yamal today looked good. He should have scored 2 goals. Let's be honest.
Yes,
that's not a
great
chance. So now you've got a kid who played 20 minutes here, 45 minutes the next game. Now he's getting to a point where he's starting to feel comfortable. He's putting himself in good position. And a guy like that has to put himself in position to score. And he did that today. He just couldn't put it in the back of the net. So I still got Olmo in the midfield. He's a machine. He's a machine running everywhere. So I look at this team and I say, okay, this is dangerous because Argentina lost to Saudi Arabia. And what happened to Argentina? Okay, so they've had their hiccup. They tied Cape Verde. Now, all of a sudden, every game it's gotten better and better. And today was a good 45 minutes. Can they put 60 or 70 minutes against Portugal? I think that's the next step. And can Yamal bring that magic? Can he do something special? Because when he does, when he's on, they're today was the first time I saw him popping the ball. It was popping. It was moving. It was going everywhere. So that's the Spain I think we all wanted to see. But when you have a hiccup, you question it. I saw it today, and you can clearly see, and I think we're talking about Troy, when you hear that pop out of the field, when a guy's putting a nice pass into you hear it, you know this team's ready to go. And you can see how the ball was moving, how they were switching the play, how they were finding spaces. They just couldn't put it away today.
Another thing that people really wanting to see about this game is the battle between Lamine Yamal and Cristiano Ronaldo. 23 years between them. Yamal wasn't even born when Cristiano Ronaldo made his World Cup debut. I'm going to ask you both this question.
Yeah, he wasn't born either when I played.
I'm sure he's a big fan of your career. He's got all of those games from 94.
Yeah, maybe Rocky Balboa. He may think I'm that.
I'm just imagining Rocky Balboa sat in the studio talking about soccer. I'm going to ask you both this question. Fast forward to the age that Ronaldo is now for Lamine Yamal. Do we think he's had a better or worse career at that point than Cristiano Ronaldo?
I'm going to say worse only because it is so hard to hit that level for so long, to be so consistent. What Ronaldo did in the Champions League year after year after year, winning that competition 5 times, being that player that always rises to the occasion in those sorts of moments is incredible. So I think for Lamine, it's the same weight of expectations you place upon him when you compare him to Messi, obviously, given the Barcelona connection. I think it's incredibly hard to suggest that any player can do that because it's only happened maybe 7 or 8 times in the history of the sport. So it's to suggest that someone has the ability, the stamina, the fitness in order to go for that long, I think it would be absolutely extraordinary. So just playing probabilities, I'm going to say worse, but obviously Lamine, from what he's done as a teenager, is well on his way to being a really, really good player.
Is it possible in the modern game?
Yeah, listen, you can't look at what the 2 best players in the world have ever done. I mean, you put them at this pedestal, which is great. They're up here, Messi and Ronaldo, and he's getting there, and he'll get there in his own time. But he's 18 years old. He's still got so much more to learn, so much more to give. So the important thing is he's enjoying the game. He stays healthy. But you're putting a goal, obtainable goal, way up there. And that's difficult to reach. How many players are going to reach that in our lifetime? How many players are going to reach the Ronaldos and the Messis? But we put it so high that when he doesn't reach it, now he's had a bad year or he's not the player we thought he was be. That's crap. I'm sorry. Because you can't compare this 18-year-old kid. When he's 100% healthy, he's phenomenal to watch play. He's electric. He turns, he makes you smile. He's like, oh, did you see that? So I don't want to put that ceiling on him.